Well, we're off. 45 minutes of interviews. We've got quite a few people to get through today, starting with our first guest, which is Mickey Edwards. Hello, Mickey.
Good morning, John.
Hello. Now, you're from Miranda.
That's right.
And you've got quite a reasonable stand here, I've seen, at NAB. For those who don't know, tell us a little bit about Miranda and then give us some overview of what you're talking about this year.
Okay, Miranda Technologies is a broadcast equipment manufacturer.
Yeah.
We're now part of a much larger organisation being bought by Belden last year.
Yeah.
So we now find ourselves part of a $2 billion group with Belden.
Right.
Within that, we have other companies that we've acquired recently as well. So we've brought subtitling on board with Softel, and we've also adopted the telecast range within our product portfolio.
Yep. And this year, obviously, it's NAB, always new things to talk about. What sort of things are we showing here this year?
Well, it's great to be here at NAB. It's one of the two major shows that we exhibit at each year, and this is also a launch pad for a number of our new products. So we've launched an SME card, which is a media encoder. We've also brought forward our the launch of our next generation Kaleido product. Miranda were the first innovators with multi-viewers, and this is the next generation product for us, so the Kaleido MX.
And these are all new to NAB. If people want to find information about these, obviously we're on day 3 already, doesn't time fly?
It does.
And they want to find some information about the new products that you're talking about here. Is there websites? Because there's so many, as you say, different product ranges now.
Yeah, so what we've done, we've incorporated everything onto the main www.miranda.com.
Right.
So that's where everybody can go to find the information on our products, as well as come and find us in the North Hall, which is where our booth is.
Excellent. And we've got a few more minutes. Is there anything new you want to talk about? We've mentioned the encoder card, mentioned the multi-viewer.
Yeah, we're also doing a launch of a master signal generator. Right. So this is a new product range for us in the 1RU platform. We're thinking that this is going to be a great lead product for us for the interfacing range. So.
Fantastic. Thank you for coming on. It's still got a day and a half or so. So obviously, if you are around and you can get to Vegas, go and have a look, and you'll see them. Whereabouts are you? Which hall are you in?
We're in North Hall.
You're in North Hall. So go and have a look in North Hall. They will be there, and you'll find them quite easily. Go and have a look. If not, the website again is
www.miranda.com.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for coming on. It's much appreciated. Go and have a look at their website. They always got new stuff coming out every new show. You get something new from Miranda, and as I say, they've taken on so many different aspects now. They'll certainly have something worth looking at. We are going to be moving on to our next guest very shortly. Just to remind you, if you haven't seen the show already, we've been doing this over the past 3 days. This is day 3. The other 2 days of our show are already up online at broadcastshow.com, and we've been walking around the show floor throughout the day, interviewing different companies, looking at their products and talking about their services, and they are also available at broadcastshow.com, as well as our YouTube channel, which is TV Bay Broadcast Show. So go and have a look at that. Everything's going up there. Everything we did yesterday is already up there. Everything we did the day before is already up there. Subscribe to that. We're always adding new content to that YouTube channel, and of course on our website, broadcastshow.com. Right, moving on. Our next guest, we're going to motor through them today. There's so many people who seem to want to come on and have a chat, including Paul Nichols from Fabrics. Hello, Paul.
Yeah, morning, John.
Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you. How you doing?
Yeah, very good.
Good.
Now, we've chatted a number of times, actually, on the show floor.
Yeah.
So I've got an idea of what you do, but maybe our viewers don't. Give us a little overview of Fabrics.
Well, Fabrics, I suppose, is well known for test and measurement now. 2008, we launched a handheld product, Fabrics SXA, and after that we established ourselves and went on to produce the Fabrics SXE, the world's first portable iron jitter test and measurement device. As we've developed, of course, we've been asked for other products, and one of those is a rack mount solution, partly because obviously it was so desirable, we didn't want them, some people were concerned that it would be stolen. So what we've done just recently is started to develop the RX range.
Right.
And at NAB this year, we're launching V7 of that particular product range, and very exciting response.
Excellent. And I have noticed that you brought a toy with you. We like it when people bring stuff on. What do we have here?
Well, this is obviously the Fabrics SXA. We've sold over 3,500 of this product.
Right.
Excellent product, and this does have the technology in it. But at NAB this year, we've released support for 2K formats, which is significant. So people like Disney, Pixar are more interested in it. And in partnership with Dolby, this not only supports Dolby E, but it supports Dolby Digital and Dolby Digital Plus.
Right.
So significant audio support on this product now.
So, as you've got the product in hand, let's go into a little bit more detail. Exactly what can we measure and view on this product?
Well, that's the interesting thing. It actually measures anything from SD SDI, HD SDI up to 3G SDI, and it's all part of the standard package. But the significant thing of it, and I think which has made it so important in the industry, is it's a generator, an analyzer, and a monitor. So if you're a broadcast engineer and you need to get in all those nooks and crannies, this is the best device to hold. You've got SDI in, SDI out, AS in, AS out, and usefully you can connect it, because it's a web server in its own right, you can connect it to an open network and really control it from your desk. So it can be down in the machine room, and you can adjust it, from your office seat, so you can be very comfortable too.
So it's a true multi-tool.
Absolutely,
What sort of battery life do you get on the unit?
If you're on the SXA, which is the entry level, you get about 2 hours, which is very good, lithium polymer battery. But with the SXC, because you've got eye support and just a physical layer support, then it's an hour and a half. But if you think about that's untethered, but clearly, you can put in a power supply at any particular time. But I think if viewers are watching your show and want to see kind of a revolution in technology, certainly the RX rack mount is new technology from Fabrics, and I think what's interesting there is we've designed a chassis which supports all the new technologies which are coming through.
Right.
And one of the things that I've seen at this show is a kind of an explosion in broadcast development for ASI, IP, optical. And the RX range makes a significant contribution to offering a solution for test and measurement in those environments. So definitely worth coming to have a look at that.
So with the RX range, it's being a rack-mounted unit. If you want to, is it an expandable range or just one unit to everything? How's
there are 3 chassis models to it. One, the RX2000 has a dual screen, so integral screens in it. And we have 2 rasterizers. The RX1000 is a full 19-inch rack, and the RX500 is kind of a half rack. But all of them are modular. So depending on your needs, if you just need a single channel, dual channel, you can add up to 4 cards into the unit. That gives you 8 simultaneous test and measurement opportunities. And I think that is a world's first. I don't think anybody actually can support that. And particularly we can support 4 independent eye patterns. And again, that's quite significant too. The other key point is that you can take off an HDMI and an SDI output at 1920 by 1080. So that gives you probably about 123% more real estate than any other manufacturer for looking at the instruments. And where it gets key is you can put up all of the instruments, so you can see 16 instruments all at the same time. It's very good at tracking through and seeing a fault rather than stepping through different screens. So it's beautifully engineered, and obviously the interface is great. Yeah,
and I've seen it on the stand, and when you put it on the big screen, it does look amazing, I have to say. Paul, thank you. If people aren't able to come and see you at the show, and they want to have a look at all your products, what's the best website they can get you on?
Well, the website is www.fabrics.com. So I see all the latest stuff there. If you're in the hall itself, N4833, so North Hall, and we'll be pleased to go through the range with you.
Paul, thank you very much for coming on and talking about it. I think we're going to come and see you later as well.
Fantastic.
Anyway. Thank you.
Okay, take care.
We've had a look at a lot of the Fabrics kit, and it's if you do need something to test or measure your signals, they are brilliant. And as I say, when you put it on the big screen, they have it. You can plug in a big screen on it. It does look very good indeed. We're going to sort out our next guest. In the meantime, I'm just going to remind you again about our live broadcast show tour that is coming up in, when's that coming up? That's coming up in May. This is a tour of the UK. If you're in the US, I'm sorry, you're going to miss out unless you want to fly over. We will be visiting Manchester, we're going to Glasgow, Bristol, Cardiff, London, not necessarily in that order. And while we're getting people ready, have a quick look at this VT. So make sure you get yourself signed up. You saw the link on screen, but it's broadcastshowtour.com, and get yourself signed up so you can come and have a look at the seminars. It should be a fun-packed time. And talking about fun-packed, here's our next guest, Stuart. Hi, thank you for coming on.
No problem.
Now, Stuart, you're from Cobham.
Yes.
And I always say this, but if people don't know, first of all, tell us a little bit about Cobham.
Okay, Cobham are a market leader in surveillance, typically the surveillance industry.
Yep.
And we're now moving into broadcast. Our expertise is video surveillance, so live video.
Yep.
The technologies are very similar, so here we are. We're bringing the technology we've been using in the surveillance industry into the broadcast industry now. So it's wireless video, really.
Wireless video. Now we've used, we were live from BVE in London, and we used a Cobham RF transmitter on the back of our camera, and I have to say, worked faultlessly.
Brilliantly.
Now that was your typical full-size RF transmitter, albeit smaller than others that I've seen, and quite lightweight. You're coming up with something rather special now.
Yes.
I understand, which you wanted to show us.
I have it in my pocket here. This is the world's smallest HD transmitter.
So
fully featured.
So this transmitter is for high quality, broadcast quality RF transmitter.
Yes. This is all the same functionality and picture quality attributes of what you typically see on the back of the large cameras, normally this big.
Yep.
We've managed to get it with the latest chipsets that we've been working with. We've now got it down to this size.
So this opens up a massive
this should be a game changer. Particularly more and more the sort of camera back market's getting a little bit saturated now. And what directors and producers seem to want now is more point of view stuff.
Yes.
So referee cams, ski cams, people that give you the point of view of the participant in whatever sport you're watching, and this is perfect for that.
And so the input on it is HDSDI?
HDSDI, HDMI, or composite, so you've got everything there.
Yeah. And it runs battery-wise, you run it off the...
That's the key, the power consumption's about 6 watts.
Wow.
Which means it doesn't get very hot.
Sure.
Often the problem with trying to get things down to a size this small is you can do it, but then you've got to get rid of the heat.
Yeah.
So we think we've cracked that now. So this should be, body worn, helmet worn.
And as far as obviously the antenna on it is going to be considerably smaller than what you would get on a full-size rig from massive distances. What sort of range are we looking at with one of these?
Well, the gain of the antenna should be similar, and if it's placed correctly, sort of on a helmet or something, you'll get typically a line of sight a couple of kilometres, really, with something like this, or if it's non-line of sight, 500-600 metres. If the signal's blocked, it uses COFDM, so the signal reflects and bounces around. Yeah.
I can see a lot of opticopters and
quadricopter
we've had
plenty of those guys around.
Are going to be very interested in looking at this. Yeah. Now, I was on your stand earlier, and you had a unit plugged onto a GoPro, which I can see being used a lot with one of these. And what's the availability of this? When are we looking at being able to actually get our own hands on one?
This is a preview, so this has got nothing in it at the moment.
Sure.
But the circuit boards are designed, so we know the size it's going to be. We're going to be launching the product at IBC, so September time. Yeah. We're hoping to have live working units sort of June, July.
Fantastic.
For beta testing.
Now, obviously, you do other RF kits as well. We've used it ourselves, and it's been spectacular. If people want to come or find out more about all your kit, whereabouts can they find you?
Well, the website's probably a good point to call, www.cobham.com/broadcast.
Brilliant. I have to say, when we've used it, it's been faultless, and we've been very impressed with it. I am very much looking forward to having a look on that. For somebody who uses a lot of the smaller cameras, where getting a large backpack on the back is sometimes an issue. That looks
this is the ideal. It should just slip on the hot shoe on top of the camera and a little antenna, and away you go.
And off you go. Yeah. That's fantastic, Stuart. Thank you for coming on and showing us. I have to say, it looks spectacular. I've got one of these quadricopters, and we fly GoPros on it and things like that, and that would be absolutely amazing to put on it. I can see a massive market for it, so go and have a look at that. So thanks, Stuart, for coming on. So we're going to get our next guest ready. I'm going to take a swig of water, which, by the way, as a presenter, you should never ever do live on air, but otherwise my voice will go. There we go. So we're going to get Peter on. If you don't know Peter, Peter's from Photon Beard. And if you don't know, they do lighting. And it just so happens that he's standing right next to me and he's got a hand mic, so we can definitely hear him. Hiya, Peter.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, very good. It seems like we've met a few times already this show.
Indeed.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I think we're going to meet again later on today as well. Or very shortly.
Today or tomorrow.
Yeah,
I can't
something like
remember,
that.
something like that.
Now, I think it's only fair for you to first tell us a little bit about Photon Beard. You've been around a while, well known in the UK for sure, and
Yeah.
tell people about you here.
Well, we've been around a little while, as you
Yeah.
say. We're actually the world's oldest lighting company.
Yeah.
We're 131 years this year.
Yep.
Founded in 1882, back in the days of gas lighting,
Yeah.
so predating electricity. And you know, as with all companies, it's grown and faded
Yeah.
and grown and faded. So we're currently on a growing stage again. So as you say, very well known in Europe and,
Yep.
and Middle East, but we're starting to make greater inroads into the US market now.
Excellent. Now, we were on your stand earlier and you had some new lights on there.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about what you're showing this year.
Okay, well, one of the sort of messages we're trying to get across to people is we're largely a fluorescent manufacturer, fluorescent lighting manufacturer, and we're trying to get over the message, don't write off fluorescent. There's been a big push in recent years for LED, LED.
Yeah.
But actually, right at this moment, fluorescent is still more efficient
Right.
than LED, and optically, the quality of light is much better.
Yep.
So in that vein, we've brought out a new panel light,
Yep.
which is 1 foot square, so you know firmly aimed at that
Yep.
panel light market, but it's a fluorescent version.
Right.
So optically, the quality of light is so much better.
Yeah. Now I've had a look at this, and as you say, it's small and compact. Tell us a little bit about some of the features that it has on it.
Well, it's obviously daylight or tungsten
Yep.
balanced.
Yep.
You simply change the tubes.
Yep.
It can be mains or battery powered.
Yep.
The actual power supply the head needs is 10 to 15 volts DC.
Right.
So you either use a little sort of laptop power
Yep.
supply, which comes with it as standard,
Yep.
or you can put on a battery, either a V mount or a gold mount battery. And there's a little dimmer on the back there, so you can adjust the intensity.
And I've had a look at you've got folds up nicely. It's got nice folding barn doors.
It's got barn doors on the front,
Yeah.
which act as do two purposes.
Yeah.
One is obviously to control and intensify the light into a smaller area,
Yeah.
but also for transit, it very good because it protects the tube, so you can very
Yes.
quickly fold it up, put it in the back of the car, and away you go.
Right. I've also, when I was on the stand, I think we're going to come and speak to you a bit later for our pre-record video, but you've got some other kit on the stand.
We've
yeah.
got quite a few new products
Yeah.
at the show here, actually. The other two are really new accessories for our 8 tube units. We've brought out a fluorescent space light,
Right.
which is more aimed at the film industry, but we believe we're the first people to do a fluorescent space light.
Right.
And it only consumes 440 watts of power,
Yeah.
but it gives the same sort of light output as a 2 kilowatt tungsten
Right.
space light would give. And then the other accessory is a cyclorama hood for lighting a background or a curtain.
Oh, okay.
And traditionally with fluorescent, that's been difficult to do above about 2 or 3 meters.
Right.
We can now light up to 6 meters high.
Oh, right.
And again, only using 440 watts of power. So it's quite a breakthrough, really.
Absolutely. And these are on your stand at the moment.
They are.
If people are watching this and they're planning on coming down today or tomorrow, whereabouts will they find you?
We're towards the back of Central Hall. The booth number is 11432.
Right.
And we're sort of at the back.
Yeah.
But there's a number of lighting companies around us, so you know, if you look for the food concession at the back of Central Hall, we're there.
Excellent, Peter. Now, if people can't obviously get here to see you and they want to find out more about all your lighting equipment, where can they find you on the web?
The website is www.photonbeard.com.
Peter, thank you very much for coming
Thank
on.
you.
Much appreciated. Go and have a look at their website. I love the Photon Beard lighting, and their new 1 foot fluorescent panel looks very impressive indeed, I have to say. Now, we are literally rushing through our guests today. We've got a lot of people coming on. And just while we get our next guest ready, which is Joe French from Mastech, let me just remind you again that everything that we're doing here at NAB you will find on our website, which is broadcastshow.com, and of course our YouTube channel, which is TV Bay Broadcast Show. There's a possibility that, oh, look at that, there's a lower third up there as well. So please subscribe to that. We're going to be putting out a lot of content over the year on that, and if you subscribe it'll come straight to you and you won't even have to worry about it, it'll just appear. In the meantime, we're going to talk to Joe French. Hello, Joe.
Hello.
Good to see you.
Good seeing you.
Now, you are from Mastech.
Yes.
And I don't know much about Mastech myself, so I think you can enlighten us all. Tell us a little bit about Mastech and of course what we're talking about here at NAB.
Okay. Mastech's been around for about 11 years.
Yep.
We've built our company by taking content and transforming it into assets. And typically why we do that is when content arises in a broadcast facility, we're able to identify it, move it into our hierarchical storage system, and then be able to extract metadata, create a content layer within the broadcasting environment, and do our transcoding and interfacing, move it into other applications like Avid and Apple.
So the management of this, there's usually two ways of doing it. Some people are having it with local equipment in the suite, in the room that they're in. A lot of people are using a cloud-based system. Some people are using a mix of the two. With yourself, what's your approach to this? How does it?
We basically look at the broadcasting environment as being a contained environment.
Yeah.
Although one of the big key aspects of things we've done with people like HBO is be able to take environments that are dispersed across the world and be able to tie them together so that no matter what environment you're in, you still have access to your content, you're still able to transcode your content and move it across barriers.
So the systems that you provide, is this a solely software-based solution that you wrap around?
That's correct, we're sole software-based.
So if somebody's got, they've already got an infrastructure, hardware and things like that, and they're having problems managing their content, tracking where everything is, how would you guys go about implementing a system?
We very much believe that most broadcasters have made great decisions. You know, they've bought great equipment to solve specific problems, and one of the things Mastech has been able to do is value prop their value prop, I guess you can say, where we can come into an environment, take existing equipment like their investments in Avids, investments in Apple, or even their transmission environment where automation systems and video servers, and create a hierarchical storage environment, be able to transcode that content so it becomes an asset, moving it in and out of those environments, and do that with very, very complex workflows that tend to be hard to manage and prone to issues, right?
So the idea being is that if somebody does have this problem, they can call you up and say, help.
How do we put this all together?
How do we put this all together? You guys come in, look at what their system, how they're working at the moment.
That's right.
And you can tailor your system to fit.
That's right. And we've done that for roughly about 300 facilities around the world, and we've done that for very, very complex environments, as well as very small environments. We've been able to address many PBS stations, we've been able to call letter stations, and even post-production environments where the workflows are maybe not as complex, but still troublesome and still, inefficient.
Brilliant. Now, whereabouts can people find you here at the show?
We're in the North Hall. 5506. Right when you first come in.
Brilliant. And if people haven't been able to, because we're streaming live around the world, if people weren't able to get to Vegas, is there a website they can find you on?
Yes, we're at www.masstech.com.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much for coming on. Much appreciated.
I'd like to say that we also won the Game Changer Award.
Oh, did you?
Yes, right.
Oh, excellent. Congratulations.
Yeah. So please come by and see it.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Thank you. You clicked on. They're so keen to get off so they can get the next one on. Go and have a look at Joe's website. The link will be possibly put up. I can't remember whether they're putting links up or not. Maybe not. But go and have a look at them and find out all the information. We're going to get our next guest on. Not even sure we're going to need another mic for this gentleman. But I believe that Stefan is getting wired up as we speak. Yes, he is. This is Stefan Hewitt from Polcam. Hi, Stefan.
Hey, man. Nice to see you again. You well?
I'm very good.
Excellent.
Now,
it's another air-conditioned box in another
air-conditioned box
part of the world.
Absolutely. It tends to.
We seem to do this all the time.
We do. We keep meeting in air-conditioned boxes.
I've got a prezi for you.
Oh no!
Look what I've made for you.
It's a Polcam.
This is your Polcam Vegas head.
Look at that.
Water transfer printing, $100 bills all over it.
I'm quite impressed. Are they peelable?
I'm afraid not.
No. I can't change them.
I
for
brought it
chips.
for you to play with.
Why? Thank you very much.
And I also have my stabilised cup holder here for you.
You've got
as
your
well.
stabilised cup holder as well.
Absolutely.
Now, people who are watching this who have absolutely no idea about our history will have to think, what the hell are you talking about? So this is a motorised pan and tilt head that goes on the end of a Polcam.
Correct, yes.
And for those who don't know, I think it's only fair that you let people know what a Polcam is.
Yeah. So Polcam came around about 15 years ago from a need, from my point of view as a cameraman director, to get shots. And I was basically needing a jib in a boat, chasing windsurfers, and ended up using a carbon fibre windsurfing mast, mini cam on the end. Frustration set in very quickly, not being able to reposition the camera. Long story short, ended up with this super lightweight carbon fibre boom with a pan and tilt unit on the end. And it's grown and grown and developed. The DSLR revolution came, which has revolutionised everything for all of us. This whole industry, you only need to walk around the show. The OEM products that are now building up around the whole DSLRs is fantastic. And we went from real small mini cams using things like this sort of camera. We went from real small mini cams to the need to make a much larger head. So we've made a super lightweight pan and tilt unit. It's designed to take, this one is designed to take the DSLRs, and then we have a longer version for things like the C300s, etc.
And the beauty of these pan and tilt heads, they're incredibly smooth to use and easy to use. And as I say, just literally, that's it. There's no, you don't need multiple struts coming to this. It's a single pole.
It's a single pole. It's all the wiring goes inside. You don't need a single tool to make it, to build it. You've got a rigging time of less than 10 minutes. And this is one of the key features of the Polcam. It's this rapid deployment, high productivity with regards to the number of shots you can get in a day. Yes, there are other cranes out there, but what we do is that, like I said, is that ability to, and you've used it yourself,
absolutely.
A high performance head, very easy to use, and we're getting a lot of cameramen that will turn up with their ordinary camera as well as a Polcam, and they can switch between the two very quickly and easily. And the customer, increased production value, very cost effective.
As I say, and you can get a Polcam into places you just can't get anything else.
Correct.
We've used it ourselves on shoots in factories and things, and we've managed to get right down into the workings of factories where you couldn't get your standard chip, and that's one of the beauties, isn't it, of Polcam?
Operating theatres is something that's growing for us, and it's not so much for live television work, it's for making films for training other surgeons, which for me, I actually get quite involved in it, absolutely love it. Coming from a motorsport and a music background to go into something like this, it is techie, it's really interesting, it's a whole different way of filming, and there are nurses everywhere, it's not all bad.
You can't complain, can you?
No.
Absolutely not. So obviously Polcam is your main product and obviously what the company's named after, but you don't just supply Polcams, you supply the camera equipment that goes on the end as well, especially in the minicam market.
Correct.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I mean, again, we fell into it because of a natural progression. We're making these really small heads, the other ones we have much smaller, for the minicams. So it became a sort of natural progression for us to become dealers with this. We're one of Toshiba's major partners, so we sell quite a few hundred of their mini cams, and these are 1/3 inch, but there's been a major revolution change as well, the 2/3 inch single chip CMOS, and there have been more and more cameras coming onto the market. I brought an example here, this red one here, this is from IO Industries, it's the Flare camera, 2/3 inch single chip, interlaced and progressive, really nice ruggedized housing, great little camera, easy to work with, little hand controller, you can plug in a laptop, and we're going to have RCP control. But where mini cams have suffered for many, many years, because they're C-mount, where they've suffered is lenses. And primarily zoom lenses. And it's almost become the holy grail. Well, after 5 years of work with Resolve Optics, we've come up with this, which is a highly compact, 10 times high definition zoom lens at just £5,500, sort of $8,000–9,000. It's incredibly great quality. It is small, it's very compact, and we've now got customers taking this from oil survey explorations. We've got them 2,000 meters under the sea, for inspection work. We're using them in broadcast, and we've got industrial inspection people using them. We've got medical people starting to use them.
Yeah.
And so we're here at the NAB show really to launch this into the American market. And we've had a great response from it already.
And, tether this onto a pole cam, the flexibility you've got is
It's a
enormous.
very powerful tool. We have on our stand a 26-foot pole cam.
Right.
With a Toshiba camera and a baby zoom lens on the end, and a 26-foot crane can be picked up physically, including the tripod and dolly, by one person.
Yeah, and that's the thing. The transportability of this is amazing as well. You don't normally, if you want a 26-foot crane, that's a lot of metal work.
Yes.
To get from one place to another.
Absolutely.
But of course, with the pole cam.
And the rigging time. It's all well and good dragging it around on a floor like this, but you come to one step.
Yeah.
And it's game over for you a few hours, and this is where it's changed for us. What's interesting, we've not long done the CabSat show in Dubai, and we've actually had some customers come to us who do weddings, and in the Middle East, weddings are big productions. They make some of our broadcast shows look really quite sort of meek and meager, really. They spend a lot of money, and there was one company, and they have to use camera women, because filming around the bride, men aren't allowed. It's not a sexist thing, this is the way it is. And they were so blown away by the pole cam because they said, we love jibs. We've got half a dozen Jimmy jibs in our arsenal, but the girls can't use them because they're just too big and bulky and it's hard work. And they say, we don't want to do it. They've seen the pole cam and they're going, this is the answer.
Brilliant. Now, one of the other things that you do is I've had the pleasure of looking around your facilities.
Thank you.
And you can customize things for people. You can customize the housing. So if they think, the camera's not going to be quite right for our needs, that's something that you can help out with as well, isn't
Absolutely. We're using 3D printers now for rapid prototyping, but it's also great, like you said, for custom one-offs. So somebody could take a camera like this and we could make an integrated shower cover type scenario. They might say, look, the area we're working is, we want everything in chroma key green. We could actually make up a cover, spray it green, completely disappear.
Brilliant.
So this sort of thing, this really excites me. I get really excited about this sort of thing, the specials and the one-offs, and I'm always being reined back in. When I come up with a $100 bill head, they go, I get people going, well, is it actually going to make us any money? No, but it's fun to talk about.
Absolutely, and it does look very cool, I have to say.
Thank you very much.
Stefan, thank you very much. If people want to come see you here at the show over the next sort of day and a half, where will they find you?
They'll find us in Central Hall, stand number 9915, just right by Sony.
Excellent. And of course, if they can't make it, there's obviously a website, which is?
Polcam.com.
Brilliant. Stefan, thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed.
I particularly like that head. I'm very impressed.
Would you like me to leave it with you for a bit?
I'm going to stand and sit and hug this for a little while. And that'd be
it's all yours,
little
baby
stroke.
cakes.
Thank you very much. Cheers. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Always fun to have Stefan on. And we've used the pole cam quite a lot. I use it a lot on the private production work that I do. And if you do need a jib that can just get in and out of just about any situation, you really should have a look at the pole cam. Now, we are in the Teradek booth here at NAB, and we've been using their kit. We're streaming through their encoders, and I thought it'd be nice to find out how this is all working. This is the last show that we're doing here from NAB Live, and so I thought it only fair that we have a chat with you guys and find out how this is all put together. Fantastic facility you've got here.
Thank you.
I'm very impressed. I'm going to put this out the way. So, a lot of the stuff that we do, we like to show the behind the scenes, because, let's face it, the clients the people who are watching this are in the broadcast industry, and they like to know how things work.
Right.
The production's great, but they like to know, what cameras are you using, what jibs are you using, how are you connecting it all together. So we thought it'd be great to have you guys on and just get an overview of how this setup is put together. And obviously we're using the Teradek kit a lot throughout the workflow.
Right.
So give us an overview of how everything's put together here.
So we actually got something cool. We decided to connect a camera so we can give the viewers a tour of how this whole thing is set up.
Yeah.
So Joe, did you...
Yeah, so we have a camera here, and I'm not the professional camera operator, but camera operator. We've got a Kessler crane for a jib, and our other camera operator. We're running Canon cameras. On our crane, we're actually running a Teradek bolt, which is home running back to the production. We have a downstage monitor here, so our host can know what's going on. And then I'm actually going to stand up and turn around and show you backstage.
Hey.
So here we are looking at the booth. And if you can look back here, we're actually switching the show on a New Tech TriCaster 855. Right there, that's where I sit mostly and receive guests and make sure they get onto the stage with a microphone. And our awesome audio tech, Steve, Wave Steve. Awesome. And we've got a Video Hub router from Blackmagic and of course, everyone has a backup, so we have a backup ATEM TV studio in there. And that's pretty much the production.
Now, as far as Teradek kit goes here, what sort of Teradek kit are we using as part of this production?
So we've got 2 cube encoders that are connected to the output of the TriCaster. It's providing 2 feeds to Ustream, so if one were to go down, it would fail over to the other.
Right.
And as Joe had already mentioned, we've got a Teradek bolt that's on the Kessler crane here, and that's providing the monitoring as they use it.
Now, this is, while I've got you here, so the Teradek bolt,
Yes.
I'm very interested in the Teradek bolt because I think I'm correct saying this is a 0 latency transmitter, isn't it?
That's correct, sub 1 millisecond.
Yeah. Which somehow to me doesn't quite compute because this is it still an H.264 encoded?
No, it's not H.264.
Right.
It's pretty much uncompressed video.
Okay.
But it's transmitting up to 1080p 60 video,
Yeah.
422.
And what's the sort of range of a bolt? Whereabouts? What sort of situations would you use it in?
So it's great for on-set monitoring,
Yeah.
but that's not the only thing that it can be used for. We've had a lot of interest in broadcast,
Yeah.
where people want to jump out of a van and just provide a feed back to it really
Yeah.
quickly.
Yeah.
Now the range you typically get is up to 300 feet, but sometimes more depending on what your environment is like.
Right. So I know it's coming to. I think it's just about to make it into the UK at the moment, and I can't wait to get my hands on one. I keep waiting for the car. So that the range wise, you can get how many? If we had say 2 or 3 cameras, what sort of? Can you get 2 or 3 cameras within a small environment with a bolt? Is there a limit to how many cameras you can use?
So there is a limit
Yeah.
within a small facility.
Yeah.
So we're looking at maybe 4 to 5
Right,
pairs
okay.
within a small facility.
Yeah.
So this all operates on the 5 gigahertz band, so
Yeah.
you're going to avoid most of the interference you'd see on 2.4, and there's no
Yeah.
licensing problems as
No,
well.
sure. So the idea being is you get the bolt, you get, as part of the bolt kit, you get the transmitter and the receiver.
Right.
Pair them up effectively.
Yeah, you turn it on and it goes. That's
and
it.
you go.
Yeah.
Input-wise, HD-SDI?
3G SDI
3G SDI,
for one
yep.
version, HDMI on the other version.
Right.
And something new for NAB this year, we decided to release some new firmware
Yeah.
that passes metadata, timecode, and report flags over the SDI link.
Very impressive.
Thank you.
Excellent. The encoding side,
Mm-hmm.
so obviously we've got a TriCaster, that is encoding, but we're taking the HD-SDI feed out, the program out of the
Correct.
TriCaster, and feeding that into one of your
Teradek cubes.
Teradek cubes.
That's right.
And for those who don't know, just explain the cube, because a lot of people know about the 3G dongles and the bonding and things.
Sure.
But this is just doing pure encoding for you.
Right, so the Teradek cube is an H.264 encoder, high profile. This particular one back here is an HD-SDI version,
Yeah.
and we're streaming it 720p, and at what bit rate are we sending it up?
This is going at 2.2
Yeah.
megabits, and one of the reasons to actually produce this workflow, even though like a TriCaster can
Yeah.
encode, really you want to separate your workflow.
Yeah.
So if you're putting on a show and you're worried about equipment failure, you want to separate these tasks. So by putting a cube in and then putting in a router, if we were to experience equipment failure on the TriCaster or something like that, it would actually not impact our outbound feed.
Right.
So it really is an advantageous workflow because I don't know of any client where going offline is acceptable.
No, absolutely. And it's interesting because I do a lot of streaming myself. It's one of my specialities that I work in when I'm not doing this job. And the idea whenever you do a large show is back up all the way through. How can you reroute the signal flow to somewhere else in case something else goes down?
Absolutely.
And you solve that using obviously the Teradek cube. So you've got 2 cubes and
Yep.
you're using the Blackmagic router. I'm assuming the cameras go into the router and you can
we can
adjust.
hot punch,
Yeah.
you know, through the router if
Yeah.
we need to bypass the TriCaster.
Yeah.
Even between segments, if we need to do a reboot of the equipment or
Yeah.
something like that. And you know, as a production company, we have found that we don't really go on a show without a cube,
Yeah.
because it really is a Swiss Army knife of
Yeah.
moving video around a
Yeah.
space. You know, to be honest, like our most common workflow is a wired Cat5 connection
Yeah.
that's either going out to the internet or point to point over the local venue. So like we're feeding overflow rooms and, you know, speaker ready rooms
Yeah.
and things like that. And what we often find is we show up on the show, it's not in our workflow. The
Yeah.
event changes and the cube is the piece that makes it
Happen
happen.
again. Excellent. Well, brilliant. I have to say, it has worked fantastically well here.
Mm-hmm.
We've had a lot of great comments about the quality of the stream coming out of here. So thank you guys for putting it together and letting us do the show from here.
Yeah, well, thank you for coming. It's been great having you guys.
Thank you very much.
All right.
I hope you've enjoyed the last 3 days of live streaming from the NAB show here. We've enjoyed it. I'm going to be walking the floor again today, doing a load more pre-recorded videos, which will be available at our website, broadcastshow.com, and of course our YouTube channel, which is TV Bay Broadcast Show. Until then, we will be finishing here, but there is plenty more content coming on this feed throughout the day, so just hang around. There'll be plenty more coming up. Come in and out of the feed, and you'll always find something on here. So in the meantime, from Broadcast Show Live, thank you very much for watching.